Hello, what is up, everybody? How are my action takers doing today? It is Monday. It is Making Moves with Michael. I have a great framework I'm going to go over with you today, or really more, I wouldn't call it a framework actually today. Let's call it more actionable tips on helping you celebrate your wins. So today we're going to call this actionable tips to help you celebrate your wins. As you might already know, I come to you live every Monday or every weekday. I'm pretty much trying to commit to every Monday at around 2 o'clock, coming to you live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on YouTube to share different strategies, different frameworks, different actionable tips to help you in your personal life and in your professional life. If you're an entrepreneur like myself, personal development and professional development are pretty much linked together. If we don't improve ourselves on a personal standpoint in our personal lives with our families and with our health, then our professional life is going to suffer and vice versa. And so let's get into celebrating our wins today. That's what I posted about. That's what I shared with you, that this is science backed, that celebrating our wins is going to lead to better outcomes in your both mental health and in your professional environment, but also it's going to reduce burnout. And so I'd like to get a little personal with you as to why I chose this topic to discuss today. And I'll go into my three wins and how they affected me emotionally. And I'll also share with you what strategies or what three ways you could start celebrating your wins. So for me, I meet with my coach on a weekly basis. My coach Merritt Minimeyer and I meet for about an hour time, and sometimes we have something that we're working on together, and we meet up, and she holds me accountable for that. Or sometimes it's how I'm feeling in the moment and what I need to work through with her. And it's very similar to how I coach my clients. So recently, I said to her, I'm feeling really down. I'm feeling as though I'm not accomplishing all of my goals. I'm feeling as though I'm not enough. I'm feeling as though, I don't want to say depression because that's not what it was. It was just more of like, I'm feeling this really flat line of, I don't feel like I'm moving. I don't feel like I'm doing anything significant in my career, in my profession. And as you might already know, some of you who know me well, I have Den10, our insurance company, and then I have Michael Esposito Inc., which is a coaching and speaking business. And so we started talking about this a little bit. And in fact, that conversation happened 2 weeks ago. And then in this next week here, in this last week here, we started talking about it more. And I started recognizing one of the things. And the reason why I recognized it was because of what happened prior to that coaching session. And what I recognized was that I wasn't celebrating my wins. So in the past, I used to journal almost every day, and I would journal about my wins, I would journal about my losses, I would journal about my feelings. And it was just like a running journal that I would have almost on a daily basis. And I was doing really well with it. More recently, I've fallen off from my journaling. I journal sporadically. I journaled this morning, but I don't know if I'm going to journal tomorrow. I haven't really made a true commitment to it. But what I recognized is that because I'm not journaling anymore, because I'm not doing some of the habits of celebrating my wins, I'm feeling as though I'm not accomplishing anything. And so now let's take a step out of the coaching session here of when I got coached on this. It was more of that realization of I need to celebrate my wins. And so here's what happened. Here are my three examples, my three wins, and how they made me feel. The first win was with family. So the first win was with family, and that's very vague in general, but I'm probably going to speak in some generalities here. But here's what happened. I was meeting with Jim Prey, one of my team members at Den10, and we were having a meeting, and we were speaking about earning income and all the different things together. I mean, we're talking about business. And one of the things he said to me is, Michael, you always put your family first. And I looked at him funny and I said, well, yeah, I guess. I kind of dismissed it. And so I want you to think about this for a moment here. How many times do you dismiss a compliment? How many times do you dismiss it when someone says, hey, your hair looks great, or you're doing a great job? Or I saw that post the other day and it was really inspiring. And how many times you just say, oh, thanks, or whatever, oh, it's nothing. And you just dismiss it. Well, that's what I did. I dismissed this compliment that he was sharing with me, but he didn't let me dismiss it. He said, Michael, you always put your family first. He said, today we were going to meet at 2 o'clock, but you told me you couldn't because you had to pick your daughters up from school. You put them first. You could have asked somebody else to pick them up, paid for somebody to pick them up, or done something different to where you didn't put them first. And so I started thinking more about that. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about all the things I do to put my family first, such as picking them up from school early in order to get them to ballet, taking a morning off to cook cookies with my daughter Denise in her classroom. I'll be taking Thursday morning off to go see Denise Tenley's ABC play at her school. And there's so many other things in terms of coaching basketball and coaching soccer and the weekend spent with the family and going on different adventures together throughout our Hudson Valley, seeing Egbert for the holidays and spending that time and being totally present with them in that moment with them, that really is a win with my family. To where sometimes we talk about our emotional buckets, and we fill our emotional buckets and we empty our emotional buckets. And so it's to the point that I put my family first, that sometimes when we argue or when we disagree on something or when I have to scold them, the emotional buckets are not depleted. They're upset, they're angry, whatever it is that we're feeling, but we're always able to work through it because the emotional bucket is full. And it's because I put family first. This isn't to pat myself on the back. This is to show you an example on how we dismiss compliments sometimes and don't recognize our wins. Because truthfully, I felt a little bit burnt out in the family section of my life because I was feeling like, am I doing enough for the girls? Am I being too hard on them? Am I not spending enough time with my family? A lot of my extended family, I don't get to spend time with. And so there's a disconnection there sometimes, and I feel bad about it. But when I look at it and I look at all the things I'm doing with my, call it nuclear family, I realize actually no, I am spending a lot of time with my family. I am dedicating a lot of time and I am putting them first, which is one of my number one values. And so therefore that burnout feeling or that feeling of not enough kind of goes away with my family, to where I recognize no, I am doing enough. I'm doing all that I can to be present for my family, which is one of my number one values. Probably the reason why I brought this one up first for all of you. The second win. The second win is a professional win for me, and it has to do with my public speaking workshops. This isn't a plug for my public speaking workshops. However, if you want to hire me for a public speaking workshop, I'm available. But this was something that helped me realize the impact that I have on others. I do my public speaking workshops. I've been doing them for years, and people come up to me afterwards and talk about my energy, how high energy I am, how exciting it was, how great it was, how I helped them, some of them overcome their fears, how some of them still have a long way to go. I've had coaching sessions with some of them, and I got really great testimonials from them on how great it is. And again, what did I do? I dismissed it all. I dismissed it all as, oh, thanks, oh, whatever, oh, cool, and move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. Never really sitting in it and recognizing the accomplishment that I have of what I successfully did in terms of them learning something from me of public speaking, me helping them overcome a fear, or helping them write a speech, or helping them get in front of an audience and speak. I mean, I've held people's hands while speaking and while they were crying in tears. And yet I still didn't recognize that I'm a really good public speaking coach until I was at one of my workshops, and it's a client that I have had for many years now. And in this workshop, they showed a video of past participants. And this video was from last year's participants who I had the opportunity to be able to train in terms of public speaking. And they were answering questions, and they were all across the board of what the project, how the project was significant in their lives, what they learned from it, and who were some of the facilitators who helped them along the way or who they pay tribute to. Now, not all of them paid tribute to me. Some of them paid tribute to other facilitators, which is wonderful because it can't all be about me, right? But at least 3 out of the 8 said that their experience in Michael Esposito's public speaking workshop was very impactful to their life and to their career, and thanked me on camera in a huge corporation. I was sitting amongst my new recruits, my new class, as this was being broadcasted. And in that moment, it was very humbling. I realized I have an impact not only on those people, but on the people I'm sitting with. And I realized this is a huge win for me because as I'm working through building this business, as I go live on Mondays and go live on Thursdays, that's the shining light, everybody. As I record my podcast, as I go out and network in order to get more speaking engagements and coaching opportunities and workshop opportunities, I don't always sit back and recognize the impact that I'm leaving on other people, which is why I got into this business. I got into this public speaking space and in this coaching space because I want to impact people's lives positively, just as my coaches and mentors have done for me. And I never took a step back to recognize the impact I was having on other people's lives. So, in a way, it was very cathartic, and in a way, it was very humbling. And also, it helped me realize I need to celebrate that. I need to recognize that I am a really great public speaking coach. I'm not the best out there. I recognize that. My head's not inflated, but I'm really good at what I do when I do it in the moment that I'm doing it. So if you hire me, you're getting the best of me. And that's impactful. And I need to celebrate that as a win, just like you need to celebrate your professional wins as well. Because otherwise, what happens is that we go out, we're networking, we're prospecting, we're cold calling, we're trying to find the next gig, we're trying to find the next opportunity, we're trying to find the next client. And as we're working through this, the whole year goes by, and then we don't know how accomplished we are. We look at a bank account and we think that that's going to tell us whether we accomplished our goals or not. And that's not necessarily true. The bank account doesn't always reflect the work that you're doing. The bank account doesn't always reflect the impact that you have on other people's lives. So you have to sit back sometimes and actually reflect on your wins and the impact you've had on people. Thank you, Linda. I love that. I love that. We got the Facebook comments coming in. I love it. I love it. And my third win that I want to share with you all today, and that is a message to all of you as well, is the win of learning that you are enough, that what you are doing is enough. So back to this coaching session that I was having with my coach and going through celebrating wins. And we started going through all of the different things that I'm doing. And the reason why that came up was because I ran into somebody at the gym. And I run into this guy, his name's Rich, really great guy, very much like me. He's retired now. He's been there, done that, and now he's kind of like just having fun in his life. And I said, "Hey Rich, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put you in my text group for Take Action. I have my Take Action community and I have a text group." And I said, "I'm so sorry. I forgot to include you in that." And he said, "Michael, don't worry about it. You're doing so much." And again, what did I do? I dismissed what he said. He said, "You're doing so much already." And I dismissed it. And I was in my coaching session with Merritt, and we're talking about it. And I started recognizing or realizing, wait a second. I have a Take Action. I have a community that I started from scratch over the summer, from nowhere. Just out of the blue, I said, I'm starting a community. Here it is. And now I have at a minimum 10 participants in every one of our mastermind calls. I have regulars who show up every single month, every second Wednesday of the month at 11 a.m. via Zoom. DM me for it. Yes, that's a plug right there. But they show up every month ready to learn, ready to work, and are part of this community. And I came up with that over the summer. And we've been consistent with it. And I have a huge announcement that I'll be making in January at our January 8th Take Action. So join me there. So I started this community. I've put on live events. I've started these making moves with Michael. I have my shining light, which is booked out until next month. I have the Michael Esposito Show, a podcast that started 3 years ago with the iHeart media station. And when I pitched it to them, they said to me, I'd be lucky if I'd be able to air an episode per week, to just stay to maybe one per month or two per month. Well, we have been launching, or excuse me, downloading an episode every single week for the past year now, and we are booked out till the end of March as we speak today. I haven't recorded a new episode for 2 months, and we're still booked out till the end of March. So by saying this out loud, I start recognizing, wait a second, I am doing a lot and it is enough. And again, I go back to the bank account because sometimes the bank account misleads us or misguides us. And we think that it's wealth and money that shows our success or that says you're doing enough. And that's not necessarily true. It's again going back to what are all the things you're doing, and are they in line with your goals? And are you consistent with them? And are you impacting other people in a positive way? At least those are my values. And the answer is yes for all of that. And so, therefore, everything else will come together. But if the answer is yes for all of that, then I'm doing enough. And therefore, I am enough. And that alone is a win. And for every one of you watching right now, you're in a space of personal or professional development. You're here watching this not because you need the motivation or because you just want to support me, because we're what? We're about 16 minutes in. All the supporters and all the motivation people left about 30 seconds to 2 minutes in at the most. Anybody watching this right now 16 minutes in, it's because you want to learn something about personal development and you want to grow and stretch yourself. And so therefore you are enough. There you go. That's right, Linda. Linda's still watching. And so therefore you are enough. You're enough because you're putting in the time, you're putting in the effort to learn, to grow, to stretch, to learn new ways of doing things, to follow new people who are positive influences in your life. And therefore you are enough because you will apply something that you learned today. You will apply it to some area of your life. And so celebrate that win. And I'll leave you with this now because I said I'm going to give you 3 actionable tips on how you can start celebrating your wins. And they're rather simple, and it doesn't mean you have to broadcast it to the world. So the first one is what I said earlier that I fell off on doing, which is journaling. Just jotting down your wins. Simple, keep it super simple. I'd love to share my screen with all of you so you can see it right now. But I literally have right here the first win, family first. Second, public speaking. Third, being enough. And then that's what I just spoke about. You could just write them out just like that and reflect on them. You could meditate on them. You could think on them. But just write out 2 or 3 wins. And I know you have them. So write them out. The second actionable tip that you can take is tell someone. Tell someone you trust. Tell someone you confide in. Tell someone who you love and might express love back to you. Tell someone who will celebrate that win with you and recognizes that you're celebrating your wins not because of ego, not to massage your ego, but to reflect on what you've accomplished and how to move forward. And again, we go back to the science behind this is that by celebrating our wins, we are mitigating the idea of burnout because burnout happens when we just keep running the cycle without taking that moment to reflect on how far we've come. We go back to the Greek mythology of, I forget his name, maybe Linda could throw it in the comments for me. We go back to the Greek mythology of the Greek god who is just pushing the boulder up the mountain, never taking the break, never ending, and this being the daunting task from morning till night. If you take the time to celebrate your wins and reflect, it's not going to feel that bad. It's not going to feel like you're always pushing the boulder up the mountain. You will feel like you've reached a peak. And when you get to that peak, you can look at other peaks and you can climb down gracefully and climb up another peak and go again. So the second tip is share your win with someone. It's not for ego. It's literally for your mental health. And our third way to help you celebrate your win is to reward yourself. So we talk about taking that pause, taking that moment, sharing it. You've written it down, you've shared it with someone. How about rewarding yourself? The reward doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be like a spa day or a new car or a new wardrobe or anything like that. Although, of course, if you have a big goal that you're looking to hit and achieve, all of those tangible things are great to have as part of your way of celebrating your wins. You can certainly put those in there. But I'm talking about just celebrating your wins every day. And so let's keep it super simple. It's simply rewarding yourself with a little something throughout the day. It could be 5 more minutes of a hot shower. Literally, 5 more minutes of a hot shower. It could be enjoying your coffee while it's hot. That could be the win. It could be like, you know what? Every day I'm rushing, every day I'm running out the door and I'm drinking cold coffee. Today I'm celebrating my wins and I'm having a hot cup of coffee. It could be going to that special coffee place that's on your way to work or on your way to the gym or on your way to wherever you're going and actually stopping that one day and buying yourself that special brew that you've been looking for. It could be buying a book for yourself. It could be just sitting down and just reading a magazine or reading a book or sitting down in quiet, peace and quiet because you deserve it. Because you deserve those 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever you decide to reward yourself with, just recognize it as a reward. Again, it doesn't have to be a tangible thing. It could be as simple as sitting still and thinking and reflecting on what you've accomplished and holding that pride within, being proud of yourself, acknowledging it. So, real quick, 3 actionable tips. First one, journal it, write it down. Doesn't have to be in some crazy journal. Again, I want to keep this simple for you. It could literally be on a post it. It could literally be on a post it. 3 wins, boom, done. Reflect on it. Call someone, text someone, tell a friend, tell somebody. Maybe you find a partner out there and just say, hey, can you be my wins partner and I'll be yours? Just shoot the text to them and they celebrate it with an emoji and we're done. And then the third one is reward yourself mindfully. Reward yourself mindfully simply means take a moment to yourself. A little bit hot, a little bit, 5 more minutes in the hot shower, hot coffee, a special brew, or just sitting in quiet in happiness. And I have to give a shout out here. Linda has been commenting. I love it. I love it. And she said, what if we used that? Hold on, Linda. I might be able to add this to the screen. Yes, I did. What if we use that third tip to integrate that which we accomplished within? You got it. That's right, Linda. Love it. Linda is one of my very first mentors that I had at Toastmasters and has become a lifelong mentor. She's just does such amazing work and she's an inspiration because she came into my life when she retired from her first job, which was IBM. So she was a retiree and she's still going. She calls me up all the time. Michael, I'm doing this. Michael, I'm doing that. I'm working with this company. I'm working with that company. I'm like, oh my goodness, Linda, I hope I have your energy at your age, but I know why she has it. She has it because everything I just said, Linda could do her own podcast episode on. Everything I just said, she does herself. She's in touch with all of these parts of celebrating her wins, of journaling, of speaking positively, of having positive people in her life, of always growing, of always stretching, of always seeking for more to learn and recognizing that she's enough. And that's why she's able to have the longevity that she does. That's why she has the energy that she does. And that's why she's able to move all across the country and be able to find and make new friends no matter where she goes. It's a wonderful thing. Linda, thanks so much for joining me on this live. I want to thank you all for watching this. If you've been watching for this whole time, if you have not been watching for this whole time and you just jumped on now, perfect timing, people, because I want to make a couple announcements for you. So every Monday I'm going live for you and I'm sharing either some actionable tips, a framework. We're working through something. It's either on personal or professional. As entrepreneurs, as I said earlier on, as entrepreneurs, our personal affects our professional and our professional lives affect our personal lives. So they are intertwined. If we want to live in harmony, we need to be able to work through all of it. Our mental health, our physical health, and our professional health, they're all together. That's how we live and work in harmony and have this balance that everybody talks about and wants so bad. Okay, so I'm coming to you live every Monday with that. On Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have my Shining Light series. That is going out every Thursday at 1 p.m. I have a really great guest tomorrow, Sarah Michelle. She'll be on my show tomorrow. They're coming live. They're sharing something about what they're doing in their communities that's inspiring, that's positive. They have different workshops and books. Everybody that I have on my Shining Light is sharing something that's going to help you improve in your life. And those are rather short, those are about 15, 20 minutes. And then, of course, we have the Michael Esposito Show. You could download our most recent episode on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify. We make it accessible to you. It's out there. We got over 100 episodes recorded, people. This is amazing. And finally, I want to invite all of you to join me in my Take Action community on January 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go live with this one here or if you're just going to have to DM me and get the personal invite for the Zoom link. But I am making a very big announcement. You don't need to be a part of the Take Action community for this announcement. You don't need to join the Take Action community for this announcement. I am making a very big announcement in January for the entire year. What the announcement I'm going to make is going to affect my entire year, and I'm going to be posting and speaking about it on a regular basis. So if you want to be a part of the start of all of this, join me on January 8th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be via Zoom for now, so it's via invite for now. It might go live, and it's going to be really impactful, not just to our local community, but to our global communities. And there are a lot of people who are involved in this movement. So it's going to be really cool. There you go. I just planted a little seed. I want to thank you all for being on this with me. Linda, I love you. Stay happy and stay healthy, everyone. And I'll see you all tomorrow if you want to join me live with the Shining Light at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Linda, thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.